Hey, welcome back to Vox Terra. Last show we talked about the Green New Deal and subsidies and how to argue for environmental causes. I've had a couple shows though where I've advocated that I thought Bernie Sanders is the strongest, most solid candidate on the environment, and especially the way he articulates environmental issues by always pointing out the fact this economy is geared towards propping up industries like the fossil fuel industry and their power in our society and their power to shape politics and their power to shape the media. So I've gotten some pushback, but you know, we're coming out of the wire here, and I just want to give one more pitch for Bernie and help people who want to help Bernie with a couple of counterpoints that I've been using. One, look, too liberal, too left. You know what? I'm not liberal on everything. And I always tell people that. I'm not liberal on everything. That's one. Two, what I think is so important about him is that he's the first person to just spell out the biggest problem our society has. Okay, all the money is going to the top and it's accumulating in certain powerful vested industries like the fossil fuel industry or the pharmaceuticals or the health insurance industry or the military industrial complex, and they're shaping our society to meet their needs even at our expense, and they're completely intertwined in our media. So he highlights that. Okay, so now there's been a big pushback, right? You watch the last couple debates, and all the other Democrats did a pile on, and the media has done a big pile on, and they've been pulling out a lot of Red Scare stuff. By Red Scare, I mean, they're saying, hey, he's socialist, we hear he's socialist, he's been saying that all along anyway, and he's too far to the left, and he can't get things through, and then they're pulling out some Red Scare stuff like talking about Cuba. Okay, let me just hit each one of those real quick for you. So, he can't get things through. I don't even know what that's supposed to mean, and you don't either, and no one does, because you know what? It's called bargaining, right? He's asking for too much. It's called bargaining. Okay, it's called bargaining. Remember that. Two, he's too far to the left. Look, he's as far as I can tell on these like social issues. The Democrats love to campaign on that annoy a lot of people who are more socially conservative, and in some ways, I've got some socially conservative sympathies. If you know a bit more about me. I don't see him as any more to the left on those, if you want to call it that. What I see is that he always highlights the power of industry and its power in our society. And I think a lot of people want to hear that, or at least they did up until all of a sudden, until the media pile on. And, the socialist business, well, he always says there's already socialism for the rich anyway. And he doesn't define socialism as a big government takeover of all the means of production. He defines it more as using government to help the average people instead of only helping these wealthy, powerful interests. And then I heard like Tom Steyer and others say, oh, he wants to take over major sections of the economy. I don't see that. He just said he wants to have a national health insurance program, and we already have Medicare for the elderly. Why not have Medicare for all? Nothing new there. Okay, his college for all or free college isn't that radical either. There used to be free college in the old days in the 50s, at least in California. College used to be very cheap. So if you just go in there asking for, these weak asks, you're not going to get anything. That's again back to the bargaining. The Cuba thing, I think Bernie got a little too comfortable. We're dealing in an entire, media here that's owned by businesses. Of course, they're in different big business interests, and then they sit on interlocking boards of directors. So, of course, they're going to look for anything to pile on against him. But look, when it comes to this Red Scare stuff, okay, I get it. I'm not that young. I grew up for part of it. And the reason why older voters were going towards, getting really scared off by it, a lot of them grew up through the McCarthy era. So they're easily spooked by it. But from where I'm standing, it looks to me, as being somebody who watched politics my whole life and has gone from being, conservative, liberal, and now I'm kind of a hybrid, it looks to me like once the Soviet Union collapsed, capitalism lost its competitor. That was a system saying, hey, public ownership is going to work better to meet people's needs than private ownership of the industries. So when the Soviet Union collapsed, capitalism lost its competitor, and all of a sudden we started having this growing gap in the middle class. College started becoming expensive, healthcare unaffordable. And I don't know that we would be sitting at a climate crisis right now if capitalism had a competitor. Remember, I was taught capitalism functions better with competition. So Humpty Dumpty is not going to be put back together again. But I think by Bernie Sanders using the socialist word, he's introducing some competition back into capitalism. And I think that helps us all. That's what I think. So those are my comebacks as we gear down, towards the end of this primary season. And either way, let's stick together to make a greener, healthier, more livable planet, a greener, less polluting economy. And until next time, if you found this video helpful, please share it. Constructive criticism, sincere is welcome. So are supportive comments. And until next time, peace be with you.